everybody, Ann here, coming at you with the fourth and final video in Answers about transfers. In the first three videos, we talked about whether or not the decision to transfer was right for you. We broke down the transfer app, talked about how it's a little different than the freshman app. And then the third video, we talked about how to make those essays and resumes really shine and impress the AdCom. This video is going to talk about what happens after you've submitted all of those apps. You probably breathed a huge sigh of relief that all of that was done, but maybe you're a little nervous to hear back from those schools. So let's go over some questions you might be having right about now. First question, when will I hear back? Now, this is not the most satisfying answer, but it depends. Some schools, rolling. Some schools, there's an actual hereby date. Most commonly though, May 1st is a very common hereby date for transfers. Second question, what if I didn't get in? Well, first of all, don't beat yourself up. As we talked about in the last three videos, transferring is incredibly competitive and the size of the transfer class really can vary. It depends on how many applications they got for the freshman class or the school's retention rate as how many people study abroad or leave. One of my rejection letters softened the blow by saying that they only had 2 spots available for transfers and many more than 2 people had applied. So at the end of the day, it's hard to know what the decision is going to be. Hey, I got into some awesome schools. How do I decide which ones to go to? Well, congratulations! Now, this decision can be really hard. So here are a few strategies to employ if you're having trouble figuring out which is your next school. First, talk to your favorite professor. This is really helpful, especially if there's a particular area of study you have that you know you want to pursue. Take them out for coffee and discuss it. They are going to have some really good insights into the strengths of different programs and which one might be the best fit for you. Talk to current students at the schools you're considering. This is really helpful if it's a toss-up, if you really can't decide between A college and B university, because sometimes asking questions about those little details like the food or dorm situation, sometimes those can really help tip the scales in one direction if you can't decide otherwise. And third, guys, go with your gut. You did a lot of great thinking about what you need out of college and made the decision to apply to transfer. You're probably actually going to have a really solid idea of which is the right school, so don't overthink it too much. What if I don't want to transfer anymore? That's great. If your second semester went a lot better and you're happy, there's no sense in uprooting and moving. Transitioning to a new college is very tough. So might feel a little weird after putting in all that work on those apps, but if it's your right school, that's totally fine, and staying would be the better option. If you do decide to make that switch though, well, before I send you off to make some new friends and explore your new school, I just want to leave you with a few pieces of advice. The first, figure out your transfer credits early. Nothing is going to ruin a day like realizing that those couple classes you thought would go towards your major didn't actually count, or that maybe even your whole academic plan is a little off track. This can all be avoided by talking to your deans first few weeks you're on campus and making sure that everyone's on the same page about which credits transferred. Second piece of advice, branch out and make some new friends right away. It's really easy as a transfer to just get super tight and kind of stay with your transfer class because they're totally going to be your pals right away during orientation and you all have something in common and they might even be your really close friends. Some of my closest friends are fellow transfers, but branching out, joining some new clubs and making some new friends right away is going to make your experience at your new school that much better. You really take advantage of the time you have. All right. That about wraps up Answers about transfers. Now, we've talked a lot in these 4 videos about how the transfer process can seem sometimes even more overwhelming and stressful than the freshman process, as if that were possible, right? But no matter where you are, if you are considering transferring or if you've already gone ahead and started the transfer common application and you want a little help navigating the process, drop us a line. We're around. All right, guys, happy transferring.